We've all seen it happen, right? A brilliant, absolutely game-changing idea gets everyone excited, and then it just fizzles out. It goes nowhere. So why does this happen over and over again? Well, here's the secret. It's almost never about the idea. It's about the execution. Today, we're going to break down the framework you need to turn those amazing ideas into actual, tangible results.
I want you to picture it. A huge new project kicks off, there's a ton of energy, and then fast forward a few months, it's over budget, it's way behind schedule, and nobody seems to know what's going on anymore. It's a super common story, and it's incredibly frustrating, but it doesn't have to be that way.
And this is the key thing to understand. The failure isn't in the idea, the failure is in the blueprint. You wouldn't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation, would you? Well, it's the same thing with a big project. A brilliant idea without a rock-solid plan is pretty much doomed from the start.
So, how do we build things right? We're going to walk through it. First, we'll talk about the blueprint, which is all about program design. Then, we'll meet the crew, the program governance that keeps everything running smoothly. After that, we'll see how the blueprint and the crew have to work together. And finally, we'll talk about what it takes to build something that has a real, lasting impact. All right, let's start with that blueprint. We call this program design. This is all the critical thinking that happens before anyone starts working on the project itself. It is, quite literally, the foundation for everything that comes next.
So what is program design, really? It's all about asking the tough questions right at the beginning. What are we actually trying to achieve here? What does success even look like for us? And how does this whole thing fit into our bigger picture? It's about making sure that every bit of work is pushing you toward a meaningful goal. A really solid design process breaks down into 4 key steps. First, you've got to define your vision. Get super clear on your objectives and how you'll measure success. Then, you map out all your stakeholders, figure out who's involved and what they care about. From there, you get practical and plan your resources, your time, your money, your people. And finally, and this one's huge, you go on a risk hunt. You proactively look for all the things that could go wrong before they have a chance to. Okay, so you've got this incredible blueprint, but a blueprint doesn't build itself, right? You need a skilled crew, and that's where program governance comes in. Think of it as your construction crew, your project manager, and your leadership team all rolled into one system designed to keep the project moving forward. At its heart, program governance is really all about accountability. It's the hands-on, day-to-day management that stops a project from slowly drifting off course. It's the system that makes sure decisions get made, progress actually gets tracked, and everyone knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing. So what does a good governance system actually look like? Well, it's about a few key things. You're clearly defining who does what. You're setting up clear lines of communication. You have a process for making tough decisions. You're also watching your performance with real data. And, super important, you have a plan for what to do when things go sideways. Because, let's be honest, they always do. Now, this is where it all clicks. The blueprint, your design, and the crew, your governance, these aren't 2 separate ideas. They are 2 halves of a whole. And when you bring them together effectively, that's where the real magic happens. Here's a really simple way to think about it. The program design, the blueprint, that defines your what and your why. It's the grand vision. The program governance, the crew, that's what manages the how and the who. That's the day-to-day execution. And you absolutely cannot have one without the other if you want to succeed. And when you get that combination right, what you end up with is a truly resilient program. It becomes adaptable, so it can handle unexpected changes. It's risk managed, so you're ready for bumps in the road. It's compliant, so you're playing by the rules. And maybe most importantly, it's always improving, because you're building in a way to learn from both your wins and your mistakes. So let's zoom out. What's the real goal here? It's not just about getting a project done on time and on budget. It's about taking a fantastic idea and turning it into something with a successful, lasting legacy. There's a quote from the source material that just nails it. It says that this combination of design and governance is a service that bridges vision and execution. That's it right there. This is the bridge that takes an idea from just a thought in someone's head to something real that creates value in the world. So as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this one question to think about for your own work. When it comes to your next big idea, don't just ask if it's a good one. Ask yourself, do we have the blueprint and the crew to make sure it's actually built to last?